Ethan lived on the edge of the colony, in a small but tidy home made of sleek metal panels. The colony itself floated on the outskirts of the Lyra system, far from the bustling hubs of the galaxy. Life was quiet here. Predictable even. Every day, he woke early, checked the solar panels on his roof, worked on machines in his small workshop, and then spent the evening looking at the stars. He liked it that way. Routine felt safe, but life, as it often did, was about to change. One calm morning, while Ethan was repairing a small generator in his backyard, he noticed a figure approaching his gate. The sunlight reflected off her smooth, pale skin, which had a faint shimmer that humans had only ever seen in hollow projections. Her steps were deliberate, quiet, almost like she was floating instead of walking. Ethan wiped the sweat from his forehead and squinted. "Hello?" he called. The figure paused. Her eyes, large and luminous, reflected the morning sky. She tilted her head slightly, and her lips curved into a faint, polite smile. "I am Lyra," she said softly, her voice musical yet strangely distant. "I live next door now. I need your help." Ethan blinked. Help? From an alien? The colony was known for its diversity, but he rarely met anyone personally, especially someone so unusual. I can try," he replied cautiously. "What kind of help do you need?" Lyra held up a small crate, no bigger than a toolbox. Strange symbols glowed faintly on its surface, and Ethan felt a shiver of curiosity run down his spine. "This," she said, "was my spouse's. It is damaged. I cannot fix it. But it is important. Please, will you help?" Ethan hesitated. He was a mechanic, a tinkerer, someone who loved machines, but this was unlike anything he had ever seen. He reached out slowly and touched the crate. The material was smooth and warm, humming faintly under his fingers. "I'll take a look," he said finally, unable to resist. Lyra's expression softened, almost relieved. She set the crate gently on his workbench and stepped back. "Thank you. That means more than you know." For the next hour, Ethan inspected the device. It was compact, about the size of a small suitcase, but the technology inside was incredible. Tiny circuits floated in midair, rearranging themselves as if alive. Energy pulses ran along the edges, and strange glyphs flickered on the surface. He had never seen anything like it. This is advanced," he muttered to himself, eyes wide. "Way beyond human tech." Lyra nodded. "Yes, it was my spouse's life work. It could change many things if restored, but I do not know how." Ethan scratched his head. He had repaired engines, built drones, even designed small energy converters, but this was on another level. "I can try," he said again, "but I can't promise anything. It might not even be repairable with human tools." She nodded again. "I understand. Even your effort is valuable." Ethan set to work. At first, it was slow going. The device seemed alive in a strange way, and he had to carefully follow patterns that made no sense at first glance. But humans were adaptable. He tried one approach, then another. He improvised, thinking creatively, imagining how a human system might interact with this alien design. Hours passed, and Lyra quietly observed. She did not speak much, but every so often, she would offer a hint, a gesture, a word, or a small touch to guide his hands. Ethan noticed that despite her grief, she was patient and watchful. "What happened to your spouse?" Ethan asked carefully. Lyra's eyes darkened slightly. "A diplomatic mission went wrong. My spouse did not return. The device is all I have left of them." She paused, looking down at the crate. "I wish to honor them. Please, help me." Ethan felt a pang of empathy. Loss was universal. It did not matter if one was human or alien. "I'll do my best," he said, By the evening, Ethan had learned more about the device than he thought possible. It was a compact energy generator, but unlike anything he had ever seen. It could amplify power in ways humans had never achieved. And it seemed to have a purpose beyond simple energy. Perhaps communication. Perhaps defense. Perhaps something even stranger. He looked up at Lyra. I think I can make it work. But I need time. And a few supplies. This isn't something you fix overnight. She nodded. Take all the time you need. You are more capable than I expected. Humans are ingenious. Ethan felt a strange sense of pride. Humans had always relied on creativity and adaptability. And even in the quiet edges of the galaxy, they could make a difference. Over the next few days, Ethan worked tirelessly. He modified small components, built tiny stabilizers, and carefully observed the device's reactions. Each night, he returned home exhausted. But he could not stop thinking about the potential of what he was doing. Meanwhile, Lyra prepared small meals for him, a gesture that seemed almost like friendship. She shared stories of her homeworld, of planets bathed in violet sunlight, of oceans that glowed at night. Ethan listened, fascinated. The more he learned about her species, the more he realized how much humans had yet to understand, and how capable they could be when facing challenges. Then, one morning, as Ethan was attaching a new energy conduit, the device suddenly pulsed with light. Tiny circuits rearranged themselves, and a soft hum filled the room. Ethan stepped back. It's reacting. Lyra's eyes widened. Yes. That is the correct response. Your adjustments, they work. More than I hoped. Ethan smiled, though tired. I think I can get it fully operational. But I need to run a full test. Lyra nodded. We must be careful. If it fails, it could attract unwanted attention. Ethan frowned. Unwanted attention? She hesitated, then spoke slowly. There are others. Entities in this galaxy who know of this device. They would take it. They would not care what it does, or who is harmed. That is why it must be restored, and why it must be kept safe. Ethan's mind raced. So this wasn't just about fixing a machine. This was about survival, protection, perhaps even preventing a disaster. The quiet life he had known on the edge of the colony was gone. Already, he could feel the stakes rising. He glanced at Lyra. Then we'll fix it. We'll make it safe. Together. Lyra smiled faintly, her usual calmness mixed with a glimmer of hope. Together, yes. That evening, the colony was quiet. Stars stretched endlessly above, silent witnesses to the beginning of something much larger than either of them could yet imagine. Ethan watched Lyra carefully place a small memorial token inside the device, a symbol of her late spouse, and as he looked at it, he felt a strange warmth, the feeling of participating in something bigger, something important. Humans, he realized, were capable of great ingenuity. They could adapt, create, and persevere. And now, he had the chance to prove it not just for himself, but for the galaxy, for a lost life, and for his new neighbor who had arrived with a simple request that would turn everything around. Outside, the quiet night held no hint of the challenges to come. But inside Ethan's small workshop, sparks of light danced across the device, and for the first time, he felt the pulse of possibility, the pulse of adventure, of discovery, and of a future he could not yet see. And so, the story of Ethan and Lyra began quietly, carefully, in the stillness of a remote colony, but already, it was moving toward something extraordinary. Ethan could barely sleep that night. The soft glow of the alien device in his workshop seemed to hum in rhythm with his own heartbeat. He kept thinking about Lyra and her spouse, about the device that was now slowly coming to life under his hands, and about the strange warning she had given him. There were others, unknown entities in the galaxy who would come for this device if it fell into the wrong hands. By morning, he felt a mix of excitement and fear. The quiet life he had cherished was gone. Something bigger was unfolding, and he was now part of it. Lyra arrived early, moving silently as usual. She carried a small case with delicate tools. Some human, some clearly alien. She placed them on the workbench beside Ethan. "You have been restless," she said, her voice gentle but knowing. "It is normal. The device, it draws attention. Even when inactive, it emits energy that some can sense." Ethan frowned. "Energy? What kind of energy? Is it dangerous?" She shook her head. "It is not dangerous to you if handled carefully, but to those who seek it. Yes, it is tempting. They do not understand purpose, only power." Ethan took a deep breath. His curiosity had always been stronger than his fear. "Then we should finish it before anyone notices. Let's make it work fully." They spent the day carefully adjusting circuits and testing reactions. Ethan's hands moved with precision and care, using both human intuition and Lyra's guidance. Slowly, the device began to respond in ways that were almost alive. Pulses of blue and gold light ran through its inner circuits, creating patterns that seemed to communicate silently. "See this?" Lyra pointed to the glowing glyphs. "They are responding to your input. Your mind. It works differently from ours. You have found new ways to connect." Ethan blinked. "I just think differently?" Lyra nodded. "And that is why humans are special. You do not follow only what is known. You try what is possible. That is rare." For the first time, Ethan realized the true significance of her words. Humans might not have the advanced technology of some alien species, but they had creativity, courage, and the ability to improvise. That made them dangerous in a good way. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Lyra finally spoke of the device's true purpose. "This is not just a power generator. It can transmit messages across the galaxy faster than any known system. It can connect worlds. But it can also be used to protect or to harm. That is why my spouse made it. Only for protection, only for good." Ethan's eyes widened. "You mean it can alert others if there's danger?" "Yes," she said softly. "Or it can defend, if necessary. But it must be used wisely. That is why I could not fix it alone." Ethan nodded. The weight of responsibility settled on him. He had been helping as a neighbor, as a mechanic. Now, he was part of something much larger, something that could affect countless lives across the stars. Just then, a faint vibration traveled through the floor. Ethan froze. The device pulsed briefly, faster than before, almost like a heartbeat. Lyra's ears twitched slightly. "They are here," she said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sharp. "I can sense them. Those who seek the device." Ethan swallowed hard. "Here? How close?" Lyra stepped closer to the device. "Not on this planet yet, but they are moving, and they will not hesitate to take it." Ethan's mind raced. He had imagined small challenges, technical puzzles, but now it was real. Enemies were coming for them, and it was not clear if anyone else would notice in time to help. "We need a plan," he said, trying to steady his voice. Lyra nodded. "Yes, but first, we must complete the device. Only when it works fully can we defend it." They worked through the night. Ethan improvised tools and created new circuits. Lyra guided him with knowledge and experience beyond human understanding. Slowly, the device reached a stable state. A soft blue glow emanated from it, pulsing rhythmically like a living being. Ethan leaned back, exhausted but proud. Lyra smiled faintly. "It is alive in purpose, not in flesh, but it listens. It responds. And now, it will protect." For a brief moment, they allowed themselves to relax. But the galaxy outside was vast, and danger was never far away. The next day, signs of trouble appeared. A scout vessel, small but fast, was detected near the edge of the colony's sensor field. Ethan watched the tiny screen in his workshop, heart pounding. "They are testing us," Lyra said. "They are cautious. They know something is here, but they do not yet understand what you have done. Ethan clenched his fists. Then we need to be ready. But how? This device. I don't know if it can stop a ship. Lyra stepped closer, placing a hand on the console. Not alone. You and I together. We can amplify its power. Your mind. Your ingenuity. It can guide it in ways even my species cannot imagine. Ethan felt a surge of determination. Humans might be small, limited, and fragile compared to some alien civilizations, but they were clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. And that might be exactly what was needed. They began preparing for defense. Ethan built stabilizers, energy shields, and emergency amplifiers. Lyra adjusted the device to respond automatically, reacting to motion, energy signatures, and other threats. By evening, their small workshop had transformed into a command center, a mix of human engineering and alien technology. As darkness fell, the scout vessel entered the colony's system. Its sleek metallic surface reflected the distant suns, and its sensors scanned for anomalies. Ethan and Lyra watched through the monitor, holding their breath. The device pulsed, sensing the incoming threat. Ethan adjusted a small dial, improvising a new sequence that caused the device to emit a protective field around the colony. A soft, shimmering barrier appeared on the monitor, surrounding the habitat modules and docking stations. Lyra's eyes widened. You did that. That is human creativity. Ethan smiled faintly. I just tried what I thought would work. The scout ship stopped abruptly, as if startled by an invisible wall. Its sensors struggled, and it began sending signals, perhaps warning its fleet, perhaps analyzing what it could not understand. They will report back, Lyra said quietly, and soon, more will come. But now, we have an advantage. Ethan's heart raced. He realized that this was just the beginning. The device was not just a tool, it was a statement. Humans, even small and limited, could achieve things that others underestimated. They could protect, create, and innovate, and that might change the balance of power in ways no one had expected. Over the next few days, the colony prepared quietly. Ethan taught a few trusted friends how to assist with stabilizers and monitoring. Lyra shared more knowledge about alien sensors and tactics. Together, they created a hybrid defense network, humans and alien tech working as one. One evening, as Ethan took a brief rest, Lyra approached him with a small hollow projector. Images of distant planets, fleets, and energy flows flickered in the air. This is why your ingenuity is vital, she said. They are powerful, but predictable. You are not predictable. That is why humans can succeed. Ethan studied the images. He realized that what he had thought of as a simple favor, helping a neighbor, had become a galactic test. Their work would not only defend the colony but might also prove that humans could be trusted, capable, and influential across the stars. A sudden alarm from the sensor console interrupted his thoughts. Another ship approached, larger, more threatening. Ethan felt a surge of adrenaline. This time, the device's pulse quickened, responding to the imminent danger. Lyra stood beside him. It will respond to you. Guide it with your mind. Use your creativity. Humans have an edge here. Ethan took a deep breath and focused. He adjusted energy flows, shifted conduits, and triggered the device's amplification sequence. The barrier expanded, stronger and more intricate than before, shimmering like a living shield. The incoming ship slowed, scanning, confused. Ethan realized they were testing the humans' limits. But humans, unlike other species, could adapt in real time. They were learning faster than expected. Lyra watched with admiration. You see? Humans, you do more than survive. You invent. You adapt. You overcome. That is why we need you. Ethan felt a strange sense of pride. For all his quiet, simple life on the edge of the colony, he now understood something profound. Human ingenuity was not just cleverness, it was resilience, courage, and creativity combined. And it could change outcomes that seemed impossible. As night fell, the threat temporarily retreated, and the colony remained safe. Ethan and Lyra stood together, exhausted but determined. "The challenge is coming," Lyra said softly. "But now, we are ready. And together, humans and alien technology can accomplish what neither could alone." Ethan nodded, looking at the softly pulsing device. He realized that this was only the beginning. And the galaxy, vast and full of danger, would soon witness the true potential of human ingenuity. The stars outside seemed to shine brighter that night. For Ethan, Lyra, and the colony, the future was uncertain, but it was also full of possibilities, innovation, and hope. And in that moment, Ethan understood that a simple act of helping a neighbor had grown into a galactic journey, one where humans would prove that even small, overlooked individuals could stand tall in the vastness of space. The colony slept under a sky filled with distant stars, unaware of the danger approaching from the far reaches of the galaxy. Ethan and Lyra did not sleep. Their eyes were fixed on the glowing device at the center of the workshop, now fully stabilized and pulsing with a quiet, steady energy. Ethan leaned over the console, adjusting a delicate energy regulator. "This is it," he murmured. "If they come now, this is our only chance to protect the colony." Lyra stood beside him, her gaze steady. "Yes, but you must remember you are not alone. The device responds to your mind, but also to mine. Together, we can do what neither species could do alone." Ethan nodded. He felt a mixture of fear and determination. Humans were small and fragile compared to the fleets of alien ships in the galaxy, but they had something else: creativity, adaptability, and courage. And tonight, those qualities would be tested. The first warning came as a sharp pulse on the sensor console. A fleet of ships emerged from the darkness, sleek and dark, moving in formation toward the colony. Ethan's heart pounded. These ships were larger, faster, and far more dangerous than the scout vessel they had encountered before. "They are coming for the device," Lyra said quietly, "and they will not stop until they have it." Ethan glanced at the glowing device. "Then we'll stop them. Somehow." Lyra's hand rested lightly on his shoulder. "Your ingenuity will guide us. Trust yourself." The first wave of ships entered the colony's atmosphere. Their energy signatures were sharp, aggressive, and probing. Ethan felt the device pulse under his hands, responding to the threat. He adjusted the conduits, realigning energy flows to create a protective shield around the habitat modules. A shimmering barrier formed, invisible to the naked eye but powerful enough to repel small attacks. The lead ship struck it, sending shockwaves through the air. Sparks flew from the shield as the alien energy tested the barrier. "They are testing us," Lyra said. "Do not be afraid. Adapt." Ethan's mind raced. He remembered how he had improvised circuits and amplifiers earlier. Combining human intuition with Lyra's guidance, he began to modify the shield in real time, creating overlapping layers of energy that shifted with each strike. The lead ship faltered, confused by the unpredictability of the defense. Ethan grinned, a spark of pride lighting his exhaustion. Humans might not have had the raw power of these aliens, but their creativity was a weapon in itself. "Keep going," Lyra encouraged. "Use the device as it responds to your mind. We can outthink them." Ethan worked quickly, adjusting energy flows, redirecting pulses, and adding stabilizers on the fly. Each strike from the enemy fleet was met with a new, innovative defense. Slowly, the ships began to retreat, unable to penetrate the unpredictable shield. Lyra watched in awe. "You see? Your mind. Humans are capable of things even my species cannot predict. That is why we need you." Ethan's grin faded as he noticed the second wave approaching, even larger than the first. "This is only the beginning," he said. "We need more than just shields." Quote, Lyra nodded. "Yes, the device can do more than block attacks. It can project energy outward, to disable them without harm. But it will require focus. Yours and mine together." Ethan took a deep breath. He focused his thoughts on the device, imagining patterns of energy that could neutralize the ships. Lyra mirrored his concentration, guiding the alien technology to respond. Slowly, beams of concentrated energy shot from the device, forming precise arcs that intercepted the enemy vessels. One by one, the ships were immobilized, their energy systems disrupted but unharmed. The colony remained safe. Ethan felt a surge of triumph. Human ingenuity, combined with alien technology, had turned the tide. But the victory was not complete. A massive command ship appeared, larger than any of the others, moving deliberately toward the colony. Its energy signature was immense, and Ethan felt the device shiver under its presence. "This is their leader," Lyra said. "We must be careful. If it breaches the shield, it could destroy everything." Ethan nodded. He focused harder than ever, combining everything he had learned about the device with his human intuition. He rerouted power, layered defenses, and created a dynamic pattern of energy pulses that shifted constantly. The command ship fired a concentrated beam, striking the shield. Ethan held his breath as the energy rippled through the device. Sparks flew, and the shield flickered dangerously. But Ethan's improvisation held. The beam dissipated, unable to penetrate the human-alien defense. Lyra smiled faintly. "You are extraordinary. Humans, you adapt under pressure. That is why you survive. Why you can protect what others cannot." Ethan felt a warmth of pride. He realized that humans might lack raw power compared to other species, but their creativity, adaptability, and courage made them formidable. Tonight, that combination was saving countless lives. The battle continued for hours. Ethan guided the device with precision, Lyra supporting with knowledge and experience. Together, they disabled ship after ship, never causing permanent harm but neutralizing the threat. The enemy fleet began to retreat, unable to predict the humans' tactics. Finally, the command ship signaled withdrawal. Ethan exhaled, exhausted but exhilarated. They had won not through sheer strength, but through ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. Lyra turned to him, her eyes shining with admiration. "You have shown what humans can do. Even against overwhelming odds, you can overcome. That is the essence of your species. In What's the 40? Let's stayed." Ethan smiled, though fatigue weighed on him. "I just did what I thought would work, but I guess humans are stronger than we often realize." Lyra placed a hand on the device. "Stronger? Yes. But also clever, adaptable, and resilient. That is why the galaxy will need humans more than ever. And you have proven that humans can rise to any challenge." The colony was safe, and the stars above seemed brighter than ever. Ethan looked at the device, now pulsing calmly, and realized how far they had come. What had started as a simple favor helping a neighbor had become a demonstration of human potential on a galactic scale. Over the next few days, the colony celebrated quietly. Though many did not know the full story, the humans and a few alien allies repaired damaged systems and reinforced defenses. Ethan and Lyra worked side by side, continuing to refine the device, now aware that it could serve as a beacon of protection and communication across the galaxy. One evening, as they watched the stars together, Lyra spoke softly. "Your species, underestimated by many, feared by some, but you have something they cannot predict: creativity, ingenuity, the courage to act when others hesitate. That is why humans can change the galaxy." Ethan nodded. "I never thought helping a neighbor would lead to this. A chance to protect the colony. And maybe more," Lyra smiled. "Small acts can have the largest consequences. Your choice to help me turned everything around. And now, humanity has proven itself, not by strength alone, but by intelligence, creativity, and heart." Ethan looked out at the stars, feeling a deep sense of purpose. Humans were small in the galaxy, but they were capable of greatness. Tonight, they had faced impossible odds and survived. They had shown the galaxy that even a quiet, overlooked species could achieve extraordinary things. In the weeks that followed, Ethan continued to work on the device, improving its energy flow and communication abilities. Lyra shared more knowledge about alien technology, and together, they began to imagine a future where humans and aliens could collaborate, not fight. The galaxy was vast and full of unknown dangers, but Ethan now knew that humans had something unique. They could innovate, adapt, and overcome. They could face threats that seemed impossible and turn them into opportunities for survival and growth. And as the colony thrived under the quiet protection of their combined human-alien technology, Ethan realized that a single act of kindness helping a grieving neighbor had not only changed their lives but had also sparked a story of courage, ingenuity, and hope that might inspire the galaxy itself. For Ethan, Lyra, and the colony, the journey was far from over. But one thing was certain. Humans, underestimated though they might be, had the power to rise above any challenge. Their creativity, resilience, and courage could transform threats into triumphs, proving that even in the vastness of space, humanity could shine brighter than the stars. And so, a quiet engineer and an alien widow had begun a story that would echo through the galaxy, showing that ingenuity and heart could outmatch strength, and that even the smallest actions could change everything. The stars twinkled above, a reminder that adventure awaited, and that humanity's place in the galaxy was only just beginning.